I hate turn-based games, and to be honest, I've never really been a fan of JRPGs either. But Clair Obscur might be doing things to me that I didn't think was possible. I'm thoroughly enjoying a turn-based JRPG. Or, well, a Western take on a JRPG. So first I'll tell you why I don't like them, and then I'll tell you why the devs at Sandfall Interactive have still managed to capture my attention, and millions of others as well. P.S. I'm only going to talk about the first 10 hours of gameplay, so nothing major is spoiled. It's still basically just the tutorial, so don't worry. Also, I'm giving away a copy of the game to my Fourth Wall supporters. More deets at the end of the video. But if you're anything like me, then you like mechanically skill-based gameplay. You like action, you like speed. You like free control of your character during important moments. I've played games my whole life, and I've played a lot of turn-based games like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was a kid, and I've played JRPGs. One of my favorite childhood games is Star Ocean Till the End of Time. But as I grew up and my ADHD kicked in a little more, I needed constant stimulation. I trended towards games like Call of Duty and Halo, and eventually ended up in the world of esports. I ran Smash Bros. Melee events, and now I commentate for the Rocket League World Championship Series. My favorite single-player games are games like Last of Us, Horizon, Spider-Man, Kingdom Come Deliverance. So, you know, all of these are games that are focused on movement or aiming, mechanics, full control of your character in real time. So if you can relate to this, then listen up. And if you don't relate, then listen up, because Clair Obscur takes a new approach I hadn't seen in turn-based games. Maybe I've been missing some great games, and you guys need to let me know about them in the comments below. First off, ADHD fulfilled. Just look at this shit. He fought you a little bit. That UI is gorgeous AF and already pulls you out of the normal stand across from your opponents kind of feeling, especially when you get enemies coming from behind. The full three-dimensional space is used here, but you may have noticed that this is still turn-based. So the next part is what really allowed me to sink into it. During your opponent's turn, you can dodge and parry. During your turn, you can hit quick-time events to do more damage. Let me get this clear. You can fully mitigate all damage coming from your enemy if you're skilled enough. No more worrying about numbers and crits and blah blah blah, just parry the goddamn attack. In other turn-based games I've played, an enemy like this would have been impossible to beat until I leveled up. He'd one-shot me with his quick attack, and I did not do enough damage. I would just have to take the hit this early into the game until I unlocked more skills and got items to help, or leveled up my defense or something. But here, I spent 40 minutes fighting him over and over and over and over again, because I knew that if I focused, my skill could overcome the challenge. And I did.
Yes, let's fucking go.
This now, despite not being able to manipulate my character in three-dimensional space in a battle, felt like a game that I was in full control of at all times. Sandfall had innovated on the space to attract a low IQ mechanics-driven person like myself to play and enjoy a turn-based game. Now, I thought that was cool enough, and then I kept playing, and suddenly they introduced even more types of quick-time events, like jumping and jump countering. This mixed the bag up enough now that in future encounters, I know they'll likely incorporate a bunch of these, meaning I don't need to just strategize the fight, but be on my toes and keep those reactions sharp. I chose the hardest difficulty to play on for a reason, and Sandfall did not lie to me. This is the mode for people who want to focus on the live action elements more. I don't play turn-based games a lot because, as I said, I tend to find them boring. I'm sorry. But as I said, maybe there are other games out there that you need to tell me about in the comments that do this that I need to check out, because for me, this changed everything. And I selfishly want all turn-based games to incorporate this going forward. I'm sure some of you are screaming no, but I don't care. I want this. And while that was a big part of it, it's not the only aspect of game design philosophy that Sandfall is approaching with a fresh mind. Another issue I have in modern gaming in general, but RPGs a lot, is this ability for me to get myself into a complacent rut. And games often don't try to pull me out of it. You know, that one where you find a build that you like and never use any other skill or weapon? Yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. Well, Clair Obscur addresses that as well. Early on, you face enemies that, when attacked, will notify you of their weaknesses if hit with the thing that they're weak to, like electricity. You then realize that the entire area is like that, and the next location that you go to has enemies that have different elemental weaknesses, like fire. If these were one-off enemies, we would have the same issue on our hands, and that's kind of what happens in other games. I ain't switching. That's too much work. But the fact that I know that I'm gonna have multiple encounters in a row that I can rely on having the same weaknesses kind of made me feel safe in switching up my skills and combos, knowing I'm not gonna have to put a lot of work into it for at least a little bit longer. Which then made these skills make a lot more sense. Some kind of felt useless when I tried to pair it up with the combo that I found worked well, but then realizing that they want you to switch up your playstyles throughout the game made me realize why some skills were just slight variations of other ones, and why I would want to then keep upgrading multiple weapons, instead of just picking the highest damage output one. The game is addressing so many issues with modern day RPGs, and as I said, gaming in general. By daring to step outside the formula, we finally have an experience that reminds me of why I game. It's not just me getting old and boring. It's been the games. It's not me, it's you, games industry. And while we're at it, let's just talk about the graphics, okay? Gorgeous, vibrant, and the world is so unique. I also love its ability to just be funny as fuck. They do things so outside the realm of normalcy. Like, for instance, the character menu looks like this normally. Then you meet this weird balloon guy, and next time I opened up the menu,
wait, what the fuck? Esquire. What the fuck you doing back there, bro? Why are you so creepy, man? What the fuck you doing? He's just back there, bro.
I know it's a small thing, but it has such a large impact that makes the game feel dynamic and ever-changing. The things that you're used to looking at change over time, reducing the monotony. Enemies have really unique battle text that feels like it fits its character rather than the generic enemy powers up, enemy uses defense, etc, etc. By the way, did you know this studio's only like 30 people? AA Gaming is back, baby. This isn't a full review on the game. I just wanted to talk about the fact that I think a game that can pull in an audience that usually does not like the genre it's set in and make them love it deserves praise. And IMO, it deserves Game of the Year. If you like discussions about game design philosophy, feel free to hit subscribe and go join me down in the comments. I love responding to all of you guys. I know if you go to my other videos, you'll see a lot of Star Citizen content, but I am gonna start diving into other games on this channel. I'll still be doing Star Citizen content here and there, but a bulk of it will be on my Star Citizen specific channel. Now, I mentioned a giveaway earlier, and it's time now to give the deets on that. I'm giving away a copy of Clair Obscur on Steam to one of my Fourth Wall subscribers. The winner's gonna be notified on Fourth Wall through DMs. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and check out this other video I made. Or not, unless you got genetic tests to prove it. I'm not your mom, I can't tell you what to do. So stay safe, be kind, and kick ass.
Humans! Well,